Hello, hello, hello. So, tell me, if you had the phone from beginning of 2013, could you use it today? I'm going to try and answer that question for you, and the phone in question is this beauty. This is the HTC One, the M7. This phone, I can remember when this phone was released, before it came to Saudi, looking at pictures of it, and my eyes were really desiring of it. Now I think I had, at the time, I had the iPhone 4S, I think, if memory serves me right, and looking at this, oh my God, I was looking at it and I'm thinking, I want it. So this was released in February 2000, no, sorry, it was released in March. I don't know why I'm forgetting this. It was released on my birthday, 22nd of March 2013. So what's that, 6 years ago, almost. It doesn't seem that long, yet it does seem that long. It's really weird. This really, for me, started my interest. I was always interested in phones, but this really kind of was the phone that really got me into phones, specs, looking at performance, stuff like that, and of course the actual aesthetic of the phone. This is one that kind of started it, so this is one that's to blame for all that money that I've wasted, and the hundreds of phones that have been through my hands since. This is all the HT1's M7's fault. Now, just go over the specs. This have a 4.7 full HD screen. It had a 4 megapixel ultra pixel camera. There was, let me just, I'm looking here, 2 GB of RAM. It has 2300 mAh battery. Aluminium body, and the front facing, and I'm just looking here because I can't see it, 2.1, and of course it came with, can you see, Beats audio and the Beats, the Boom Sound speakers, and it was really, I think it was an absolutely brilliant phone for the time. And I saw, you know, you can pick these up really cheaply. This is a refurbished Verizon one, which came about 300, 400 riyals altogether, and then you can buy them new for that price. I've seen, I think, on souk.com. Actually, I think it was about 300. This one on Souk, I saw it about 400. So you can buy them still new, and I've been using this the last couple of days, and I want to tell you this, that yeah, you can still use this phone. It's running Android 5, which I think is Lollipop, but I don't think that's such a bad thing. I can download all the apps that I needed for it, and it's running really well. 2 GB of RAM, so it's 6 years ago. We're still seeing phones now with just 2 GB of RAM, and they don't look as cool as this. Now, the only thing I will say that is dated, I suppose, would be the word, is the black border around the screen. This is this Super LCD 4.7 inch full HD screen. This is the only thing I would say that kind of looked dated. Wouldn't it be great if HTC released a version of this, almost the exact same, but screen to, you know, the bezel-less, with their latest LCD screen, even the same size, with this being bezel-less. Oh my God, that would be absolutely brilliant. Having the aluminium body, an updated camera, maybe QHD screen, I would buy it. So the Qualcomm processor, which I think, did I tell you what it was? I don't remember what it was. It's some Snapdragon 600 or something. Anyway, it's you only need to know that you can still use this phone as your daily driver. It's works really, really well. It gets a wee bit hot when you're fiddling around with it, but when it came, when it arrived the other day, when I ordered it, from Awok, which I think is in Dubai, here you see, yeah, it came very quickly. So I'm going to see if I'm going to buy a couple of other things for them, see how it is, but it came very quickly. And the only thing of FYI is that if you're ordering from Saudi, from Awok, and it's been delivered by, I think I got some stuff delivered by DHL and by FedEx, they will charge extra. I had to pay 20 and 30 reals for 2 different packages for tax. So add that in when you're looking at the cost factor if you're going to buy anything from them. But they were certainly very, very quick, so don't be afraid to buy Awok. I don't get any money from them. I'm just telling you my experience. I don't get any money from anybody. I don't even get any money from my wife. So I'm just telling you my experience. You can find some deals there, and they have refurbished phones as well. So yeah, it's worth a look if you're like me, like to play around with your gadgets. So yeah, getting back to the phone. Right, so I downloaded Antutu, and I think I remember doing Antutu on this before, and my memory says it was only it got 30,000. So when I did it and I got a score of 52,281, I was pleasantly surprised. It was I thought it a really good score. Let me just see. It's a Qualcomm Cret 300, and it's 1.7, and it has an Adreno 320. So and actually it's interesting, the pixel density is 469 ppi, which again I think at the time was really good, and is still pretty decent now. I think the screen still looks good for its age, definitely. Let me tell you, the sound from the speakers, the Boomtown speakers, is really pretty decent. Let me just look here, play something. Not that will give you a real idea of the sound, but what was my last video? Looking at the Microsoft Surface Go review. Ooh, 447 views, excellent. Anyway, yeah.
Going on engineer, I think for the 4GB RAM is about 1800.
Let's see, can I get it to go back? Come on. So,
I want to talk.
Don't seem very loud there. Strange. Maybe, what am I doing? Let's see. I will play you something that I was listening to there. Trying this music player, KX music player, and so it's hard to hear it on the obviously this video, but the sound from these boom sound is the quality of coming from such a small thing is actually really, really good. I'm not sure why it wasn't playing my voice louder on YouTube, but music-wise, yep, I think it still holds itself up to a modern phone. I was listening to music via using wired headphones, and I just, the sound is really clear, really crisp, maybe a bit too toppy, but that could have been my headphones. But you can make an adjustments if you download your, that's why you'll see here I downloaded the equalizer that went with this app. It's actually quite nice, equalizer, and I just changed it a bit when I was listening to the music, and really very, very clear. So the, let me see the name of that music player again for you. I'm just trying out a few different ones. KX music player, so it looks okay, it looks alright. Trying it out here while I'm using this phone. So yeah, call quality I think is really pretty decent. I don't notice any difference between my other phone, which I haven't reviewed yet, so I won't tell you what it is, but I haven't noticed any difference. The call quality is fine. So when I'm going through something the likes of Facebook, this thing is scrolling very decent, I think. I mean, it's going a lot better than a lot of phones that I've reviewed recently, so I haven't noticed any problems at all. I think with that score, which in the light of phones today, 52,000 on Antutu is not particularly high, but I was surprised it's high enough to keep this absolute beautiful phone. Let me see if I can get it in focus. In focus there. You'll see this one came with only the micro, so you'll need a micro SIM, so you can put an SD card in. Hold on, can you? No, you can't. You can't put an SD card in. Only comes with a micro SIM, not nano, so you need an adapter. No problem. Look at that. I mean, it's a thing of beauty. I haven't taken these refurb stickers off because I might end up selling it. I might end up keeping it, who knows. I still think that it is a beautiful, beautiful device, and I will reiterate, the only thing that kind of ruins it now, these the black border, but I will forgive HTC because I just think they made a really decent phone. What else can I tell you about it? Well, really nothing. Android wise, well, you're not going to get an update, an official update past the whatever's on here, 5, but for those brave enough, you can get the bootloader unlocked from HTC, and you can flash up to, I think, version 8, which is I've forgotten what version 8 of Android is called, but you can get Lineage and another there's a couple of ROMs available, but I actually looked at doing it, and I might have even attempted to do it, but when it came as Verizon, unlock Verizon refurb, I thought it was maybe like AT&T refurb or whatever, but when it came as Verizon, I wasn't sure if I couldn't find specific ROM that said for the Verizon version of it. It did have a Sprint ROM, but anyway, it's not for the faint of heart having flashing the ROM on this. So you know, I would. That's my wife calling me. I'll ignore it right just now. It's doable, okay, and you can check. There's a lot of videos on how to do it. So I mean, it really just takes a wee bit of courage, and you could have this running Android 8, or certainly anything above Android 6. So you know, it might be for those of us. It seems to be the thing now that we're looking nostalgically back at our phones, and I know I am. So it's and it's a cool thing. I like it, so I might be looking at some of my older previous phones if I can get my hands on them. Most of them don't have my own phone. I might see if I can purchase from somewhere some of the phones that I had. And I'm sure some of them there's no way I could use them properly now. But this one, yeah, you could still use this one as a second phone, as a travel phone, as a music device, anything. I still think it looks cool. The screen is still very decent. So yeah, you could still use this in 2019. So kudos HTC for giving us this thing. Now, before I go, I only want to talk about the camera. And I remember back in the day when there were when there was a lot of talk about this ultra pixel. And it's not going to be not easy to show you. So there's a lot of talk about the ultra pixel, and it seemed it was only 4 MP camera, but it was ultra pixel, and was it any better than a 6 or 8 mega, whatever the higher ones were. But look, they're perfectly acceptable, the shots. They're not DSLR. I did take some video, and let's see if I can. Did I have any? Hold on. Let me see. I was decided to talk, or was this the one? So, actually, looking at this video here, I think it looks really pretty good. It looks good on the screen. So let's see. I'm sure I did that when I wanted to talk.
Walking. How's that? Nice and green. I don't know what the sound is like. It looks a wee bit shaky here, but I'm sure.
Actually, I'm really surprised I didn't look at this video. The clarity of the you're not able to hear it there, but the clarity of the vocal on there is really good. And that video, actually, I'm going to transfer it onto something higher resolution. I want to see what it looks like. The video looked really good. So yeah, you can still use this for your weekend phone, your whatever you want phone. So I just really wanted to share it with people. I know there's a lot of HTC fans out there, and I certainly was one, and I still am, to be honest with you. And I might have to be reviewing something else HTC related very soon. Of course, just quickly mention the HTC Sense kind of skin that came from HTC over the Android. It's relatively unobtrusive and benign, so I don't mind it. And you can change it. Of course, you can download whatever this Blink feed, I think it's called. You can download a launcher and stuff like that if you want, and change the look of it. So that is all I wanted to tell you. The HTC One M7 still good in 2019. Go on, buy yourself one. Bye.